Today's video, if you can't tell by the thumbnail, we are going to be mounting this tank. And originally I was just going to weld it to the frame and permanently mount it and make it all molded and cool and stuff. But looking back on it, I feel like that's not a good idea, because let's say I drop the bike and throw a huge dent in the side of this tank, or God forbid I pierce it and all the fuel pisses out. Now I have to cut the tank off and I have to ruin my molding and all the paint and all that stuff, when in reality you could just unbolt it and make a new one off the bike, you know, and bolt it back on. Then just all you have to do is paint the tank and color match and stuff. It's a lot easier. So I'm gonna try to achieve this old style of tank molding, which I'll put a picture of it right there so you guys understand what's going on. I tried to pick the brains of some old guys on exactly how to do it, and they pretty much hit me with the usual figure it out, or it's a secret, which I don't know why they do that. I think it's because either they don't know, or I don't know, maybe they have ego issues or something like that. But I'm going to try to do it, and I'm going to show you guys how I try to do it, so maybe you guys can do it yourselves, because it's not a secret. It's choppers. Also in this video, we are going to be dishing this tank, and I'm going to show you how to do that. I have done this before. Not saying it was easy last time, but maybe it'll be easier this time around. I'll show you that effect real fast. Here is that dished effect. Look at that. Ooh, you could eat cereal out of it. All it does is make your bike look cool, because that's the only reason why we do anything with these choppers. But you can see I have it on both sides. It looks pretty neat. And everybody knows that less gas is cooler in the chopper world. We will not be adding this guy. This is a fuel gauge. It's just a rubber hose up top to the bottom, and it just shows you the level of your gas. Pretty neat. It's super neat unless it breaks on the highway. But we're gonna go ahead and do this on that bike. Let's see how it goes. I'm a professional at making annoying shapes. So before I bend the thick rod, I like to use baling wire. It's a lot more malleable, and also it kind of gives you the same instincts that a large rod would give you. Okay. And if you're wondering the reason I did it this weird way, is so I could have a template, because I am making two of these out of this 5/16 rod, which is a little bit bigger than the other rod work that I have used on the other molding of the bike. However, I suggest you use thicker rod on this, because we are going to be using a hammer to make this dish, and it's going to be taking quite the abuse. So let's go. Well, look, there it is. Look at that goofy ass shape. Only if I had two. Oh wait, I do. There you go. That's why I use tape, because now I have two pieces of rod that are relatively the same shape. All right, so it's time to tack weld these guys on. Now, it's gonna be very finicky. One side is always the easiest, but then trying to get the other side to match is always the worst part. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this started. Now, a little disclaimer is this is very thin. You might see me blow a hole in it. Also, I've never done an irregular shape like this. Last time I did this, it was just ovals. So I don't really know what's gonna happen. So, haha. Gotta close these gaps, you know? Ow, I just pinched my fucking nip. Oh. It's not working. So that was a total pain, but we got it on. So it's just tacked right now. I'm gonna completely weld it. Now, if you don't want the rod to stay on the tank after you dish it, then just tack it. It should hold, it just holds the general shape that you're trying to do when you hammer it. But I want the rod to stay on because I want this thing to look very crazy. So let's go ahead and weld it all on. Got it all welded on, and you know what that means. It's hammer time. So I've never actually dished a tank in this weird shape. Hopefully it works out okay. Here's the type of hammers I'm going to be using. So here's a dead blow. This is a sand dead blow. We have two different sizes of ball peens. This is a 20 ounce, and then like, I don't know, not a 20 ounce. And then a big rubber mallet. Also, you're gonna need a basset hound. So we seem to have run into an issue that I was actually worried about. So you see this big stupid sunken dish that I made a long time ago and looks like shit. Well, it is actually impeding our dish. Look at that. You can see it. It is stopping the metal from bowing. So we have a couple things we can do here. Just roll with it and hide it with body filler, which is what I want to do, or pull it out, which I also kind of want to do. Now that we have the tank all dished up, now it's time to mount it to the frame. And how we're gonna do this, make it all low key, is I'm going to notch the frame right here for a little channel so this guy can slide through. And the reason why is because this part right here is being welded to the tank, and this part's being welded to the frame, held on with a bolt. It's gonna be hidden inside the channel to make molding easier. And if you guys are still confused, I went ahead and did this side off camera just to make sure I could do it. And there you go. And I'm only doing 2 of these because I was gonna do it on both sides originally, but that's just getting too thin for comfort. So there you go. Let's go ahead and do the other side. I need a hammer. what I've done here is I've cut out the general shape I need to fill, but I have completely undershot the size because I'm going to come back in with smaller tools like a Dremel and actually, you know, be very cautious on how to get in here because you need that air gap to be as small as possible so your welds really stick well. And this is the piece that is going in here. See, I'm not skimping out on the size because this is kind of a sketchy situation. So there's that. You may see the gap's a little larger, but halfway through dremeling, I realized I don't need to go as deep as it seems because this gusset right here is 1/2 inch and this gusset up here is over 1 inch wide. So this guy had a lot less room to work with and I don't need to technically go as deep and it's not gonna be flush like that. But we'll figure some of that out with some weld and some sculpting. So I think she's ready to, I gotta shape this piece. Gotta shape this piece perfectly before I weld it on. Let's go ahead and do that. So there's that. It's notice how I have a little channel going all the way around so that weld goes super deep. Let's go ahead and weld her on and clean her up. For more touchy sanding projects, I like to use kind of a deteriorated flat wheel because it doesn't take away as much as fast. Oh, need my ears. What? She's not perfect, but whatever. It'll work for now. Didn't really care about prettying this up too much over here because I'm probably gonna have to weld more right there. So now we have to throw the tank on there and figure out how we're going to somehow mark and weld the threads into the tank. So I tack welded the tank where it needs to be because I think the way we're going to execute this, it's pretty unorthodox, but I don't really know a better way since this is such a tight space. So this guy is pretty fucking close. I already got him angled a little bit, so I could honestly just shave, you know, that much off to make this guy level with this one. However, this fella down here has no room for a bung. So the way I would like it to look is like, oh boy, barely even has room for the little cap. Holy moly, we can make that fit. That's honestly good enough. So that's where the bolt goes, but then where does the bung go? Where's the threaded bit? I might actually have to drill a hole into the tank and sink the bung into the tank, which isn't the craziest thing. I've done that on my purple bike over there, and I've seen other people do that before. And luckily for me, I have a giant, massive hole in my tank so I can, you know, weld it from the inside, the outside, drill a hole. So the reason I welded it on here is so I can just take a screw gun and whoop, and I don't think I need to do it with that one, so I'm not going to. Less holes in your tank, the better. I'm not one to talk. This will be miraculous if this tank doesn't leak out of pinholes or something somewhere. Definitely need to redo that neck. I did that years ago, and it's horrendous. I'm a lot better welder now. Just drilling holes in gas tanks. Oh, cool guy chopper stuff. Oh, it's so cool. Oh God. Oh, I need safety glasses. Oh. Well, that works. Nice reason of drilling holes in the tanks is exactly why I went with the closed-sided bungs. Because you could always shorten these, but it'd be a bitch to close the open-sided bungs. Oh, lordy. Shove this guy up there, just like a suppository. Wow, look at that. Nice and hidden. You guys want to see that suppository? Oh. Dude, that's pretty nifty. And I don't think we need to drill a hole for this side. I think I just need to shorten that a little bit because we're sticking out, you know, about 1/2 inch. But I can spare 1/2 inch. And I actually think I can stick some welding rod all the way down there. It's gonna be like a game of operation. So I'm gonna go ahead and round this off a little bit more, see if I can get it to fit. The reason this might come off is actually terrifying. And that is that I might have not given myself enough room. The bungs are slightly angled. Oh, it came off. Well, that works pretty damn good. Now that I have that everything tacked on and everything's tacked on the tank, it's time to actually weld it. So I'm gonna go ahead and weld the frame and clean it up over here, and then we'll move over to the bench and do the tank. So what I'm realizing is we need to bend it a little bit. About right there. The reason I'm using such a thick rod is because I want some extra material to be able to grind away and really shape, because you guys know how I work. I like to subtract material instead of adding material very meticulously, because I am at heart a sculptor. I'm a sculptor. Woo! All right. Oh, look at that. This is the moment of truth. It's gonna go boing, or it's not gonna go boing. No boing. Oh, no. Oh, yeah. I'm going to grind down some of the excess. This is why I used a pretty thick piece of rod. And I'm gonna grind it down nice and flat, flush with the tank. So we got a nice flat spot to work with, and it's all even flowing. Now that we got those smoothed out, you can see I have already made my templates using frog tape, a Sharpie, and an X-Acto knife. I find this very useful when working with weird shapes and you need exact cutouts to fit the weird shape. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut these out right now. And there they are. And now you might be thinking, Vinny, that looks like shit. Also, it's held on by magnets. You're correct. I am going to hammer these in using a hammer, because unlike tape, it actually might retain its shape. I went ahead and did the other side off camera just to get the hang of things, but I am going to do a time lapse now on the other side. Honestly, it's not too bad. You guys will see. But before I start said time lapse, check this out. It is currently spooky season, and I decided to strap a skeleton to my daily that I ride to work every day. His foot's melting for some reason. Gee, I don't know why. Yeah. As you guys saw, that is a lot of cleaning up and grinding, but there it is. We have the channel cover pretty much done. Of course, there's some cleaning up here and there, but now we get to the fun part of molding the rest of the tank. I have a little piece of rod that's made from some of those pegboard. Oh my God. Cut the video because I figured you guys didn't need to see me do a whole bunch of sanding, but check that out. That's pretty nifty. Pretty excited about that. And how did I achieve such a crisp edge? Oh, that would be this tool right here. Harbor Freight, baby. This thing is extremely useful. Outstanding. Pretty cheap too. You can see the absolute carnage of tools and bullshit down there. Now we are going to connect this. This is going to be one of the hardest parts of molding this tank. And I went ahead and did the other side, and I think I figured out the best way of molding this tank. Let me swing around here. Kind of a huge pain in the butt, but man, does that look cool. Never seen a dish continue down onto the frame. We do have a little bit of gappage right there. I think I'm gonna try to fill that in with weld and just meticulously grind that. We're gonna go ahead and do like I did on the other side. And I have some tape over there that mimics that shape. I'm gonna go ahead and bend this rod to fit that shape. And there it is. Of course, I just went ahead and did it. I don't think you guys need to watch me play with my rod. You know what I mean? She doesn't think it's very funny, but there you go. I'm gonna go ahead and tack this on and bend her up. Stay, please, for the love. Now we gotta do the top one. Wow. So it's been a couple days since the last footage you've seen. I had to finish up this helmet that I was painting. I was tired of wearing my half shell and I was going deaf. That is also painted by me. Got to keep the painting skills up because I am also going to paint that bike. Penelope loves this helmet. Isn't that right? A little snifferoonie. You like it? You like the helmet? She doesn't talk much, but I'll go ahead and show you guys what I did off camera. More cleaning up and sanding. So last footage you saw me banging this guy on, welded him on, kind of got him molded to the tank. It's gonna make bondoing a lot easier and whatnot. Ignore those old welds. I kind of didn't know what the hell I was doing there. I still don't know what I'm doing actually, but got him molded on. Pretty much the whole tank's mounting fixture is ready to go. Fixed the neck. I had a nice big crack in here. It probably has something to do with me hitting the sides of the tank with a huge hammer. Not sure though. And now, what we need to do is make this tank do what it's designed to do. And that's hold some freaking gas, dude. If you guys can see, there's a giant hole in my tank and I need to put a dish back in it. However, this is the OG dish and I made it out of something incredibly too thick. This weighs like 10 pounds. I think I'm gonna make a new one. Also, she doesn't quite fit in there anymore. Probably also has something to do with me hitting this tank with huge hammers. I kind of want to make a new one, so we're gonna go ahead and do that. Now, we just need to cut this out of metal. Got her tacked up. Not really pretty. You're pretty though. Now we gotta get it to fit in the tank. There she is. Went ahead and ground it down, completely welded it up, and pressure tested it because I am just beyond excited to finally mold this thing. You guys are gonna see how much a little Bondo helps a build. It's gonna take this from a huge piece of shit to a slightly smaller piece of shit. You guys are gonna love it. Let's get going. Before you Bondo over bare metal, you should probably hit it with like 60 or 80 grit. So it's a new day. Bondo's nice and hard. Time to sand.
go. She's all sanded down and stuff. Of course, it can always be sanded more, but I am personally tired of working on this. So we're gonna go ahead and throw some primer on it, because you probably shouldn't let Bondo just sit out, because it'll absorb moisture and do crazy things. So I'm gonna prime it and then fix any spots in the future with just a tiny little bit of Bondo. Oh, never gets old, does it? It's a nice fit. She's still a little damp. I'm rushing this a little bit. As you can see, I'm in my nice clothes. I painted this earlier and I had to go to dinner with my family. And I'm gonna be gone for a week, so I need to finish this now. But look at that, people. Look at that. That's nonsense. That's ridiculous. Now, as you can see it's needs some help in there. Whatever, we'll fix it. Kind of rush the paint and Bondo and stuff, but best thing about it is you can always add more. I'm excited about that. Another cool thing, oh yeah, that side's rough. And I didn't do the right sandpaper, whatever. Best thing about flake paint is it's going to cover all of that. If it's a little rough, no worries. It'll actually hold on to the flake paint better. See, I got my sight glass, matches the sight glass on my oil tank, and you got your petcock. It's got a cool faucet valve, like this guy. Super annoying, super stupid. And every time I'm about to change it, somebody says, "Oh look, it's a hose valve." You guys enjoyed the video. I'm sorry it was a little spotty, but all this is new to me. I'm making this up as I go. I don't have a clue what I'm doing, but man, I'm having fun, and I love it when stuff works out. Don't know what I'm gonna do next. Maybe the fender, I don't really know. But like and subscribe if you want to see more. I'm just gonna keep chipping away on this bike. See you next time.